The content on this channel has been created for adults. If you're not at least 13 years of age or older, then please do not watch this content. Sorry, dude. Come back when you're 13.
Yeah, baby girl. You know what I wanna do. Come on. Yeah, baby girl.
What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. It's your homie, Faith Chase, aka Crossifex, aka Chosen Effect, back on the deck, getting ready to wreck the set. And don't you forget, always a pleasure, guys. You already know. Man, I'm just wondering out there, how many of you guys are like just, you know, kind of just, I don't know, man, are you struggling with the craziness of just this whole fiasco, you know, with the virus, man? Like, it's driving me batty because, like, I just can't believe that the numbers are going nuts back home in the States. Like, it's just, I don't understand why do people, someone help me understand this, because I'm just confused, I'm baffled, I have a loss for words. You guys know me, I don't really do the loss for words thing. I usually have a lot to say, but I don't know what to say because I did not see anywhere on the internet, anywhere, freaking anywhere, period. No one has said ever that this virus is gone, it's done, no happy days. Let's open up nightclubs, let's open up bars, let's like just, let's not just have any restrictions at all. I'm dude, like seriously, the numbers are phenomenal in the States right now. Like, I can't believe it. And now, even in Australia here, where I'm currently living, for you guys that don't know and you just tuning in, I'm living in Australia, I'm from the States, but anyways, Australia's been really good overall, you know, compared to everywhere else in the world. They're doing a great job here and everything, you know, which is positive, except now they're starting to make the same mistakes, in my opinion. This is my opinion, but it just feels like they're making the same mistakes that everywhere else made, like back home in the States, where things are starting to open too soon and get back to what everyone is like. We want to get back to some type of normality, and it's happening too soon, I think, because again, there's no cure, there's no vaccine, there's nothing's changed. Why do people think that everything is, you know, yippee-ki-yay now? Like, what the freak? Dude, seriously, someone help me understand this, because it's blowing my mind. Now in Australia, in Victoria, which is where Melbourne is, if you guys know, Melbourne is the second biggest city in Australia. I think soon they're going to take Sydney out and become the biggest city. That's what I think. Everyone knows Sydney. Yeah, I'm sure everyone around the world has heard of Sydney. Some people don't realize Melbourne is another big city in Australia, like the second biggest. And, like, argumentatively, some people would say it's even a better city than Sydney. But that's a discussion for another day. And that's like potato, right? Like, each to their own. But now they're getting their numbers. They went from having no numbers to, and then they started opening everything. And then boom, now they've got big numbers happening, man. They have numbers happening every day. When I say big, I'm talking big for Australia. They're not like big compared to a lot of other places numbers, but they're still significant to go from 0 and then suddenly get like 75 new cases and stuff like that overnight when you didn't have any. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And I'm worried because I see this trend happening everywhere. Like, everyone's like, oh, well, let's just... And I get it. You have to open. I get it. I understand you can't stay closed forever. But, like, dude, there's just... You have to make laws, rules. Like, why is everyone afraid to just as a precaution, even if you think, okay, yeah, look, our numbers are down, let's just go ahead and get things going again. Have anyone heard the saying, prevention is the best cure? Like, I don't know. Prevention is the best cure, dude. Why? Guys, seriously, prevention. Why wouldn't you just, considering the fact again that there is no cure, the virus is still alive and well, prevention is the best cure. Make it a law that you have to wear a mask. A cloth mask. Doesn't have to be the freaking, they say the cloth masks are effective. They can be effective. If everyone's wearing a cloth mask even, it's effective. You don't have to give the N95s, let the doctors, people who need those ones have those, but any type of face covering is better than no freaking covering whatsoever. Jeez, even a blind Stevie Wonder could see that. Y'all know what I'm saying? Come on. Like, make it a law, dude. Make it a law, freaking, that if you go out to a supermarket, if you go on a freaking train, if you go out in freaking public, period, man. Like, if you out in public, and it's not like, I'm not talking about your car. Like, I think if you're in your own car, you don't have to wear a mask, obviously. That's just stupid. You're in your own space. But I'm talking about when you're out in public and you are walking by people, near people, around people, make it a law, man. When you're going into other buildings, mask law. Make it a law. Make it a law. Social distancing. Don't just say we recommend you do this. Make it a freaking law. Why do people start having to freaking be responsible for, their lack of following the rules? Like, let's freaking make this something that if you get freaking, busted not following the rules in a time of a pandemic, this is a world pandemic, guys. I don't understand. How does no one understand? It's a freaking pandemic. Why are people thinking, I think we might even be time to open our borders, let everyone in. Why you want to? I get it. You have to, tourism is a lot of ways a lot of countries make their money and stuff for the economy. I get it. But you got to have some better rules. I heard one thing, man, it blew my mind. Seriously, dude. So they had the 14-day quarantine for people who come into the country or, come back from overseas and things like that. I heard this like in the past week happen. So they did the test. He was negative, because it doesn't always show instantly, right? You don't know. Did the quarantine, and then suddenly they were like, what? Quarantine, everything's Gucci, passed the, the last test, everything was clear, let them go. The next day, they got the freaking disease. The next day, it showed up positive. The next day, one day later. They didn't debate it. They didn't even debate. They said, no, we're not going to increase the time of the, the quarantine requirement just because this happened. Which they go, I get it. Oh, they think, it doesn't happen all the time like that. 14 days is generally pretty good. Dude, you just saw it. It's not good. There's no science to this. A lot of people, even, you know what I'm saying? So, like, dude, what's with, why can't you just add an extra 2 days? You've already done 14 days quarantine. What's an extra 2 days for to just be on the safe side? They said, now, we don't want to add an extra day or something because we don't want people to have to be quarantined longer than, they want to be or need to be or something. It's like, dude, are you serious? They obviously, there's a little flaw in your plan here, because then that person, just like madness, right? So then this other person ends up going and like all over the joint thinking they're good, and then boom, they interact with other people, and then that's how you have a big freaking spike again. Like, I get people saying, this is the other thing that doesn't get me. Tell me, guys, this is another thing. Your ears. Anyways, I'll talk about my ears another day. Here's the other thing, man. So, I hear people saying, oh, we're not trying to eliminate the disease. We just want to make it manageable, so our resources, we just want to flatten it. We don't want to completely get rid of it. We just want to make it manageable, so when people come to hospital, our resources are good. Meanwhile, places like New Zealand have allegedly, apparently, eradicated it completely. It's like it ain't even a thing anymore. There's some places here in Australia, even they haven't had a case in like weeks now, you know, very long time or something. And it's like, okay, obviously you're not getting cases. That specific area, that state, that country, whatever, I think you've managed to eradicate it, right? As long as you don't let people come in that potentially can, you know, be carriers of this, because that's what happened apparently. Apparently Australia, probably the wave everywhere. I mean, let's think about it. If it started allegedly in Wuhan, and if that's the reality, and you know that to be alleged fact, and then you say, okay, cool, we know that we've got a problem now, and then you know that this is spreading around the world everywhere, and you're like, okay, we're going to have to close the borders or close my country, and you've done that, and then everything is Gucci because suddenly it's suppressed the whole thing. Why wouldn't you be happy you've done that and be like, okay, we've suppressed it, cool, it's done. So why would you then, I get you have to get your life back to some sort of normality, but surely you wouldn't be thinking, I'm going to open my borders up. Would you? I don't think so. I think you're going to have to learn to be a bit more versatile and figure things out until there's a vaccine or cure. But then you go, well, there might not be one. So I get it. It's tricky, man. But that's where the quarantine comes in handy. You increase it then. If you have to open, don't do 14 days. I'd be like, dude, we have 0 cases here. We ain't had any for a very, very long time. I'm making you quarantine for freaking 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? If you want to badly go visit somewhere, 4 weeks, man. Freaking, I'd quarantine for 4 weeks if I knew I wanted to travel somewhere and that country allegedly was completely corona free, and I knew if I go to that country, I could have a potential ability to just be normal again. Do you know what I mean? Because, man, I don't know about you guys, man, but corona drives me nuts. Like, I'm sure it drives a lot of people nuts, but I'm just, personally, it's brought out a lot of my own already. I've always been that kind of pedantic kind of, like, excessive cleaning kind of person. You know what I mean? Like, I wash my hands. Before this even happened, I was that person. You would never, ever catch me freaking going to the toilet or somewhere and not washing my hands. And you would never catch me touching the door handles in those places after I've washed my hands or anything. Like, I'll always have wet wipes on me or something so I can open the doors without touching anything. I'm that person. I ain't ashamed of it, man. Especially now. Especially now. Like, hello, I've been doing this for freaking, this is my thing. You know, you never catch me freaking shaking people's hands, doing all this stuff, and then eating food and doing all these things. Like, they're just bad habits. People licking their fingers like it's going out of fashion, and then going and shaking someone else's hand and doing all these things. You know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of germs and bacteria out there. Half of the viruses and flu and all these other things that exist, if people were already taking precautions, you know, doing these things, prevention is the best cure, half of these things probably would never even see the light of day. Like tuberculosis, I can't even say the word. Y'all know what I mean, tuberculosis, I think that's what it is. But, you know, that's a thing that's apparently some people are catching that now, even, you know, in the midst of all this. And all I'm saying is, like, places like, I lived in Japan for a long time. And in Japan, like, they would wear masks, like, just as a courtesy. When they thought that they might be a little bit sick, not well, they wear a mask to protect other people, even if it's not a pandemic. Like, a lot of Asian countries do that. It's like, dude, that's freaking respect, man. Respect, you know what I'm saying? Some people wear the mask, obviously, for themselves. They don't want the pollutants and things. They want to filter out some of that bad stuff and everything, you know what I'm saying? Or potentially they don't want to get sick either. That to me is like, that's smart. Like, I don't see the issue, you know? I think it should be a law. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think on this topic, man, because I'm just blown away that the numbers have gone nuts, man. And it makes me, it gives me anxiety. All this gives me anxiety, like, more than, you know what I'm saying? I'm just that person, man. I have asthma. I freaking, you know, allegedly, you know, I'm in a higher risk group, you know, stuff like that. I don't know, man. It just already makes me feel very nervous. Going into confined places, like, I am nervous, man. Like, I go in the elevator somewhere, and it's like, it feels like I'm the only one who's thinking about this. That's how it feels, and I think that's what worries me the most. See, I don't think I would be as concerned or worried or thinking about this stuff that much if everyone else around me seemed to also be taking similar precautions. But man, like, the elevator comes down and people aren't thinking. For example, I'm coming down the elevator and people are just standing straight at the door, like right there, like tons of people. It's like, dude, like, first of all, isn't that just common courtesy anyways, that people coming down, they've got to get out the elevator anyway, so why wouldn't you leave enough space for them to get out in general, let alone when we have been told? I don't think there's no country anywhere, even the people who have freaking apparently 0 cases and stuff, nobody has said, oh yeah, don't do social distancing anymore, don't worry about that, it's all Gucci. Like, I think everyone is still practicing at least that. At least social distance. I don't think the social distance thing is, you know, if people are really truly thinking about this all the time like I do, dude, I see a group of people, I'm NFLing, man. NFL football, for you guys who don't know, man, but I'm like freaking, I'm ready to dodge and weave way over there, you know what I'm saying? I'm avoiding people. I go to the supermarket when I have to go to the supermarket. I tried the delivery thing for the first time the other day. Disaster. Oh my gosh, dude, guys, I'm gonna share the story really quick, because that freaking was a disaster by itself. I feel like I'm the only one trying to just, if I don't have to go out, man, why go out? I'm not gonna go out. I'm gonna try to do delivery and keep myself from being out there, you know what I mean? Like, and that's good for other people, and it's good for me. And so I tried the delivery, man, the groceries delivery. It was a disaster. I had a plan, because I'm, you know, me being someone who's owned restaurants, me being someone who cooks food, you know, chef, like, I like to hook up my food, do my thing, you know what I mean? Freaking, I had meals planned, man. And I was so excited, I couldn't wait. I could not wait. And the groceries come, and then one key thing that I needed was sold out. The potatoes, man. I was gonna make these beautiful, just homemade, like, fries, like, just beautiful, you know, and there was a certain potato I got to make this, and I was gonna olive oil and saute. Anyways, they were sold out, apparently. They said no potato that I wanted. So I couldn't make fries to go with the beautiful turkey burgers. I wanted to make my own turkey burger. I hadn't had a great burger in a while, and I was tossing up because I had the turkey meat, and I also got the Beyond meat, because I want to make a Beyond burger too. So then this is what happens else, guys. This is nuts. So I ordered some brioche buns, you know, the brioche buns, guys. They're like really nice gourmet, you know, buns, nice buns. So I wanted a nice, you know, a nice burger, a nice bun. So the brioche buns freaking come, and the picture in the, you know, when you're looking online at the things in the supermarket, and you go, oh yeah, those look like nice sized buns, they look good. Man, when they came, they were freaking the size of sliders. And there's 4 in a pack, the size of sliders. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm like, all right, whatever, man. I'll just make slider-sized burger patties, whatever. Man, I go to open, this is where it becomes my fault. I freaking go to open the package of the sliders, right? Because this is a really hard package to open. I was trying to open, I was ripping everything. And again, normally, like, I try to minimize my, like, you know, I've got this system, I wash stuff, and I'm still washing stuff. I don't know if anyone's washing stuff. Are you guys still washing stuff? Are you washing your things? I'm still washing stuff. Washing packages, everything. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to touch knives. All I want to do is, I'll just rip it open. I freaking rip it open, and freaking buns go flying everywhere. I freaking, like, and the worst part about it was, they went flying everywhere, and only one bun survived. Long story short, the other buns, they were flying all over. You know, they were not clean to be edible. I wasn't. You know, some people would have probably just wiped them off. I don't know. I'm not that person. Again, I said I am that person who is super this. So I had one that survived, and I'd already cooked up my 4 patties. And I didn't, basically ended up having to try to make one big double-decker, and then I made a double-decker of no bun. That was on me, right? But I couldn't have the onions, because guess what else happened in this amazing thing? So yeah, onions, dude. The onions, I was going to saute some onions up, caramelize them, make them nice to go with this. The onions had a hole in the bag. A hole in the bag. Because these weren't fresh onions, guys. These were the frozen onions. I was trying to buy some frozen, you know, onions, just so that they could keep longer in the thing. I wouldn't have to worry about them. And they already come you know, chop cut, and I could clean the bag easily, because I'm a little bit nervous about fresh produce, you know, like, just at the moment, again, my mind trying to work through this whole thing. And I was like, these are frozen, they're in a bag, that's probably a bit safer maybe, I don't know. So anyways, long story short, they had a big hole in the bag, and I'm like, man, I ain't trusting that. This got a hole in it. Even before this happened, if I have a package of food that is damaged, I don't want it. I'm not going to freaking eat it. I'm not taking those type of risks, you know what I'm saying? On the best of days. So anyways, it was a disaster. My first shopping experience, like, when at my restaurant, I had food and stuff delivered all the time. At one stage, I tried it, and then it was just always something would be missing, or something would, and I stopped doing it. Even then, I started going to my restaurant. I would go and literally take the extra time to go and pick up all my own stock myself. I'd freaking load up my Jeep, freaking get everything in there. I would do it myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I would freaking do it myself. That was just the thing. And I became because I look at expiration dates and all that kind of stuff, man. I care about all that stuff. I want to see how fresh something is. I'll investigate. I'll check it. I'll do stuff that the people packing stuff obviously don't care. I'm not saying everyone doesn't care, but in my particular experience this time around, they didn't care. There was an obvious hole in the bag. I guess you could miss it if you're in a hurry and you're just trying to, yeah. So it is what it is. You know, I'm not blaming anyone. It happened. This stuff happens. Whatever. They got to do 1 million orders. They're probably trying to take, I don't know if are they taking precautions? Maybe they are too. Maybe they're trying to wear gloves and they just got the mask on. If you got a mask on, maybe your view isn't 100. I don't know. But it happened. Anyways, my point is, this is all driving me nuts, long story short, because I just want to go, I miss, like, again, it's about missing things that we all took for granted. Like, here's the thing. I feel like I'm maybe one of the few people in my current surroundings, maybe you guys feel differently, but I think looking and judging from what I see in the news, a lot of you are in the same situation as me, where it's like, there's a lot of people around you that just don't seem to care. They're not giving an F. I've heard people say it in a thing. Oh man, Carl, it's not a big deal. I think it's fake news and this. People still don't even believe. There's still people who believe it's not even real, man. Like, what the freak? How many more people have to die before you believe it's real, dude? Like, seriously. Like, come on. But you see all these people just seem like their life has gotten back to normal. They're freaking out there, just living, having a great time, doing whatever, don't have a care in the world. And here I am, I'm like freaking walking on freaking eggshells. I'm like, I don't know this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I ain't going there, I don't do that. Freaking don't want freaking anyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to do what I think we all should be doing. And that's what's worrying because, dude, this thing, again, they're even saying, here's the other thing. You could go, oh, well, herd immunity or something they were talking about early on. Apparently, it ain't happening, dude, because apparently you can catch this more than once. There's people who said they caught it more than once, people catching it more than once. If you ain't even going to get any herd immunity, freaking immunity out of this, where there's a bunch of people stupid people going out getting caught this whatever, at least if they have a strong enough immune and positive, you know what I mean, they don't get super sick, then you go, well, at least that's one less person who might get it or something. But then no, dude, because apparently, again, this is all alleged what I've heard, you can still catch this, like, even if there's a vaccine, people can still be carriers for it. So they might not get sick, but if you don't get the vaccine too, they could still carry it and infect you. So even a vaccine isn't 100% foolproof solution for everybody. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it is a very tricky situation. I personally don't know what the answer is because it's a madness, dude. Seriously, like everywhere, it is just madness. I understand it's a balancing act. Freaking, you got to try to still run your economies. You got to open. People have to work. You need jobs. You need all these things to go on. People have to eat. People have to this and that. People need to be able to get food and things. You can't not do, like, I get it. But there has to be some guidelines. There has to be some rules. Like, I don't know, man. Like, freaking, this is a leadership issue, I think, especially back home in the States. I would say that it feels like just, a cop-out, to me, my opinion. When you say, oh, we'll just let the states decide, each state decide what they want to do with their state. We ain't going to put up national, federal law of anything. We're just going to let you guys decide. Well, obviously some people have made decisions that weren't good decisions because now they're freaking swamped with cases. Like Florida, Arizona. Like, you guys serious? What? You know what I mean? So, like, and I worry about Florida in particular. My brother's in Florida. My brother has heart. His heart is messed up. He needs a heart transplant. He's got a freaking, not full heart or something. And all that, like his whole situation. I told you guys about it. So my brother's high risk, and he's in Florida, and he's surrounded by people. I asked my brother, are you wearing a mask? Make sure you're wearing a mask. Are you doing the right thing? He's doing the right thing. Freaking, but everyone else ain't. What do you do? So someone's got to step up and just make some rules. Be like, you got to wear a mask. You go out, period. If you don't, you're fined. You freaking spend the night in jail. I bet you have to spend the night in jail. You'll wear a mask next time. I bet you'll freaking social distance if you freaking get put in jail for a week. Like, freaking step up, man. Because people don't need to die from this. There's enough other ways for people to die on this freaking planet that we don't need to add to it. Like, every single person takes some of your own responsibility as well. Like, stop waiting for the government to even tell you what's common sense, what you should or shouldn't do. Take some of your own freaking initiative. Have some self-responsibility, man, and freaking care about everyone else around you and all that. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, man, that was I don't know what that was. I wanted to share my thoughts on this because I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about this freaking disease, this madness that's still going on, everything about people not doing mass social distancing? Should people be wearing masks? Should people be wearing social distancing? Should it be a law? Should it be something that is required to do? Let's talk about it. I want to have a discussion in my comments about this, and then I'll be making a video about this and answering, and we're gonna talk about it. We need more people talking, and as you guys know, I'm starting to do one of these videos where it sparks conversation and get people thinking and talking. I like that. I think it's pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think about that. And I love you. Remember, Lutwyche to the fullest. Keep it off tap. Off tap.